Have you ever noticed that some of the smartest people don't actually look smart at first? They're not always the loudest person in the room. They're not always trying to impress anyone. And they're usually not the ones talking just to fill the silence. That's because high intelligence often shows up in ways people misunderstand. Sometimes it looks like being quiet. Sometimes it looks like overthinking. Sometimes it looks like questioning everything. And sometimes it just looks like someone who feels a little out of sync with the rest of the world. Psychology has long suggested that intelligence is not just about knowledge. It's about how the mind processes things, how it connects ideas, how it reacts to complexity. And when someone has a highly analytical mind, that usually shows up in certain habits and patterns. So in this video, we're going to look at 5 signs you may think differently than most people. And if a few of these feel a little too familiar, there may be a reason for that. The first sign is spending a lot of time in your own head. Highly intelligent people are often mentally active almost all the time. Even when they seem calm on the outside, their brain is usually doing something in the background. Replaying conversations, connecting random ideas, thinking about how things work, or analyzing something small way longer than most people would. To other people, this can look like distraction or daydreaming, but often it's not that at all. It's deep mental processing. People with high IQs often have strong inner worlds. Their mind doesn't just move through life, it keeps examining it. And that's one reason solitude can feel so important to them. Not because they hate people, but because silence gives their brain room to think. The second sign is that you question things most people simply accept. This is a big one. Highly intelligent people often struggle with blind acceptance. If everyone believes something, that doesn't automatically make it true to them. They want to know why. Why does this rule exist? Why do people act like this is normal? Why are so many people repeating things they've never actually thought through? That kind of thinking is often connected to curiosity and pattern recognition. The mind doesn't just accept the surface. It wants to see what's underneath it. And honestly, this can make life harder. Because the world doesn't always reward people who ask deeper questions. Sometimes it rewards people who just go along with things. So when someone constantly questions systems, opinions, or social rules, they may come across as skeptical or difficult. But sometimes they're not being difficult at all. Their brain just doesn't feel satisfied with shallow answers. The third sign is feeling misunderstood by a lot of people. This happens more than most people realize. Highly intelligent people often think in ways that are harder to explain. They may see connections that other people don't see yet. They may jump from one idea to another very quickly, or they may feel like what makes perfect sense in their head suddenly sounds complicated when they try to say it out loud. And over time, that can get frustrating. You start to notice that a lot of conversations stay on the surface. You want depth, but people give you small talk. You want real ideas, but the conversation never gets there. And little by little, you may start holding back more. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you get tired of explaining what feels obvious to you. This is one reason some highly intelligent people can seem a little distant. It's not always arrogance. Sometimes it's just mental loneliness. The fourth sign is overthinking small things. Now this one gets misunderstood all the time. A highly analytical brain rarely shuts off on command. The same mind that can spot patterns quickly can also get stuck examining tiny details. A short text message, a weird tone in someone's voice, one awkward moment in a conversation. For some people, that would pass in seconds. But for an analytical mind, it can turn into a whole chain of thoughts. What did they mean by that? Was something off? Did I miss something? Is there a bigger pattern here? This is why intelligent people sometimes seem like they're making things too complicated, but in many cases, they're not trying to. Their brain naturally sees more layers than other people do. That can be useful. It can help with judgment, awareness, and problem solving. But it can also be exhausting, because seeing more possibilities often means carrying more mental weight. And the fifth sign is being willing to change your mind when new information appears. This is one of the clearest signs of real intelligence. A lot of people think smart people always sound certain, but actually, highly intelligent people are often more comfortable admitting when they were wrong. Not because they like being wrong, but because they care more about truth than about ego. If better evidence appears, they adjust. If a stronger argument comes along, they rethink. If something no longer makes sense, they don't keep defending it just to protect their pride. That kind of flexibility matters. In psychology, this is often linked to cognitive flexibility, the ability to update your thinking instead of getting trapped inside old beliefs. And in real life, it's surprisingly rare. A lot of people don't want the truth. They want confirmation. They want to feel right. But a more intelligent mind is usually more interested in understanding what's real, even if that means letting go of an old opinion. So let's quickly look at the 5 signs again. Spending a lot of time in your own head, questioning things other people accept, feeling misunderstood, overthinking small things, and being willing to change your mind. Now, of course, none of these signs alone prove someone has a high IQ, but when several of them show up together, they often point to a mind that processes the world differently. And that's the thing about intelligence most people miss. It doesn't always make someone look impressive. Sometimes it makes them quieter, more observant, more complicated, even a little harder to understand. But it also gives them something powerful, the ability to notice what other people overlook. If some of these signs sounded a little too familiar, maybe your mind works differently too. And if it does, that's not a weakness. It may actually explain more about your life than you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more psychology content like this, and let me know in the comments which of these 5 signs felt the most true for you. I'd really like to hear your thoughts.